What up, beautiful people? You are now joining Just Glow Podcast. I'm your host, Gloria Velez, and my special guest today, dope MC, my friend for a long time
That's
since he
right.
was young, MIC
Yeah.
Geronimo. What up, baby?
What's up? Hey, it's
Good,
good to
good, my
see
love.
you.
Same
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
same
you look
here.
good. Everything all right?
Yes, yes, bless.
Everything's
I,
cool.
I, I can't complain. You look great still. You still look like from back in the day. Like I don't know, that's incredible. I swear to
Yo,
God.
really? Yo, thank you.
Yeah, even your whole
Thank you.
demeanor, it's like deja vu. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to remember the last time like that we actually saw each other. It has to be over 20 years, right?
It's
I would say.
yeah. Now you're telling us our age. Yeah, maybe. Yes, yes, yes.
Nah,
No,
that's
it's
not true.
okay.
We were like 3 years old last time I saw you, right? We were both three. That's
Literally, I think the last time I saw
what
you was mid 25. I was like 25, 24, something like that. We was young. We was super young.
I want to say. I think, and I might have saw you afterwards. I want to say it was like in Miami.
Definitely
I think Big
Miami.
was. I think Big was still alive. Actually,
Oh,
I
okay. So that
think
was like
that's how long it's.
95, 96. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
been a
really?
while.
I thought I saw you after
Yeah,
that somewhere. Do you remember how we initially met? Who introduced us? Do you remember that? Because I don't remember that story.
I kind of remember. Okay, I know you were at the label, and I know you were. I think you were dancing for one of the artists that was signed at the label. And I
Okay.
remember, I don't know if you remember a guy named Bernard, but I think it was Bernard who managed Kinsu, who introduced
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. I was his backup dancer. Oh my God. I was
But
like
then,
14 years old. Literally.
yo, and then it's funny because we never really, and then one day out of nowhere, I think we were both at the label and we just would like started
Vibing.
talking. I was like, she's
Yes.
cool. Yeah, we vibed
That's
and
right. You
everything.
got
That
a
was
great
it.
freaking memory. Yeah, I was dancing for Kinsu. A lot of people don't know. He's like a bass
Yeah.
rapper. I'm not for sure like if
Yeah.
he's from Miami or whatever, but yeah, I started
Now, you know what's
touring
wild?
all
He was
over.
from here. Yeah,
Get
he
out
was
of here,
from he
really.
actually yeah, he was from New York. That's crazy. I know more about the artist you was working with than you. But I
Listen, they
remember
wrote
that.
that check.
Yeah, yeah. But after that it was like you just took off like a rocket ship. I was
I,
happy though the whole time just to see
oh,
you
thank
like
you, thank you.
blossom and like I remember at one point I was watching somebody's video and I had to do like one of these, like you see someone on the TV and you kind of like, wait,
Is that
oh, wait,
her?
yeah, that's Chloe. And I was like, go ahead, Chloe. Yeah, I was like, yeah, go ahead, get it, get it, get it. So you
You're
took
too
off.
funny. Yeah, you saw me as
Yeah,
like
bro.
little girl, literally 14. Can you believe that? That's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
You was young too, so
yeah,
we're around the same age. We're real close in age. So
yeah. I was
how did
like,
you started in the industry? Like, were you rapping first? Like, what got you in the
mhm.
drive of what drew you to this industry? It wasn't.
It was
You,
kind of
you,
funny with me, Glow. Because I grew up with Large Professor. Shout out to Large Professor. So, like, Large Professor from Main Source was pretty much like the first person I ever knew going outside of my crib. Like you always have that person in the neighborhood. Your mom would be like, "Well, who you outside with?" And I
yes,
would say, "Well,
yes.
I'm outside with Large." And, oh, okay. So he was like,
You good?
yeah. So I knew him literally since I got my first key to wear around my neck to open my door, go outside to play or whatever. But being around him, um, I would just, hear beats and like I was like 15, 16, and like people like Gangstar would come to his house, or Tribe Called
Oh
Quest,
wow.
or Busta Rhymes or Premier, Pete Rock, shout out to Pete. So I was young around them and that got me into DJing. And so
Oh
my
wow. I didn't know
parents,
that.
yeah, that's how I started. So me and my brother was DJs. So we had like 4 turntables and 2 mixers, 2 amps. I would go every day and buy like, the 12-inch singles, and I had crates
Yes.
of records. So the rap thing with me kind of inadvertently happened. And that was only because I was surrounded by people that spit all day.
Yes.
So I would just Yeah, so in the beginning, I was just doing it to just bug out and make, people
You just
around me
love the
laugh.
music, right?
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
just loved music, and then
And you was
even
around
further,
such powerful, inspirational rappers. That's like incredible.
yeah, I was really fortunate. Yeah, so,
Yeah,
but
that's. I mean, look, the names that
I
you
don't
just
think
said is like incredible.
it was crazy. It was crazy, and then as I got older, like Large would, he would have people in the crib like just freestyling. So, Nas would be there. Shout out to Nas,
Yes.
Akinelli, um,
So it was your
Joe
destiny.
Fatal.
You were surrounded by legends. You were surrounded
Yeah,
the influence
pretty
right
much.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And then
I
I'll
can
never
totally
forget
relate
when
to that. Like it was your
uh-huh.
destiny. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and
So
it
what
wasn't like I said,
yeah, that
I
wasn't by
didn't
accident.
look for it. Nah, but it's
Right.
funny because
It
I was
just
like, I
happened.
wasn't looking to do it. It just happened. And then I was like, all right, I'm young. At that time, I was like 16, going on 17. I'm just getting ready to graduate high school. I don't really know what I want to do with my life, and then it happened. And I was like, okay, cool. If it works, it does. If it doesn't, then,
Right.
at least you could say you did something everybody else
Tried.
ain't done it. Yeah, I tried. So, and the rest is history.
So what was the first song that you said, okay, this is it. I'm right. I am officially a rapper.
Um, it wasn't just real. It was, I think, when I did Master IC with Buck Wild, and I think like in the studio when they played it back when it was finally completed, I think that's when I kind of stepped back and I was like, oh, okay, this is like not a dream.
This is it.
And
Yes, yes.
yeah, and I think that kind of like I was like, okay, oh shit, so what comes with it not being a dream?
Right.
But I
Right,
just
right,
rolled with it.
right.
Yeah,
I
I
understand
just
because
rolled with it.
when I was on stage and dancing and performing, and every time I hit that stage, I said, "This is it. This is for me." The adrenaline, the
Hmm.
crowd cheering, and that was just a backup dancer, and I know I wanted more. So I know you get that
Yeah,
empathy, like you know when you're in the studio creating, and I get excited. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, I know what you
you get
mean.
that
Like, but
feeling,
see, though,
right?
you get that, yeah, you get that it's just a vibe, and it's just but that was the part that I love. Like, I love the
Right.
part of being able to go into the studio would
Create.
fascinate me. Yeah, because you have all these lights around you and all this equipment, and you don't know what half the shit around you does, but you just sitting there
Right.
like, okay. And that was the fun part, the part though, like, and like performing the butterflies you get before you go on
Yes.
stage, like
Yes.
the dare that you have with yourself is fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I dare you to run out there in front of all those people, and then
Right,
you
and
do
get
it.
crazy and just release, be you.
Yeah,
You're actually
and
being,
you
you're letting yourself out there. This is my lyrics, this is my song, and are they going to accept
exactly
me? Are they going to receive it right well? As
right.
producing, what was like as a producer working, because you worked with a lot of great producers. Like give me who was the best one or that influenced you or brought out more create, like every producer that I've worked with always brought something different out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Every time that I went in the studio, like I worked with Scott Storch, I worked with, just so many people. I was signed with Ronnie Jerkins, and
Mm-hmm.
creating with them was incredible. It just
Yeah,
like it brought
yeah,
something
yeah,
new, different out of me. Which one that you can honestly
yeah.
say that comes out of your mind, say, oh my God, creating with him, I would definitely work with him. And because some of them are weird, lighting candles, praise doves. I seen a bunch of crazy shit, okay? Or
I
some
was
are
like,
dark.
see, I've
Yeah.
heard stories, so I was fortunate. Like, I never had anybody who was so eccentric that they've done something where I'd be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" But
Right, right.
but it's hard to say. Like, I think with everyone that I've been fortunate to work with, it's always been something where I could learn and take something. So with all of them across the board, from the most known to the most unknown, it
Right,
always with me had to, if I didn't vibe with you, I didn't work with and
right.
sometimes that's an Achilles heel because you kind of limit what you can do if you look at it that way. But I
Yes,
was just
yes.
always big on, if it's not a natural figurative marriage,
Chemistry,
then
right,
yeah,
right.
if it's not a natural. But I think the people that stand out, working with Buck was always a good experience with Buck Wild, because we never really thought, we just went and did.
Right.
Um,
So
and
what he created the
working,
beat right there. That's how you guys created and
yeah, like I'm So High, Master I See sounded nothing like it did when it was finished. Like I actually remember when we got the beat and Gotti was there with me, and then he was like, I was like, yo, you don't hear that? And he was
right.
like, nah. And I was like,
Right.
you don't hear that? And he was like, nah. And I was like, all right, just trust me on, so with working with Buck and even Pete too, it was a very organic experience. I think the personal that sticks out in terms of like, wow, okay, um, like this man does this, and he does this so that it becomes mammoth.
Right.
Working with Diddy was like, with Puff was like
I can see that.
the first time that I really experienced somebody being like a wizard, in the sense of
Yeah.
he telling me like, okay, on this word do this, and with this phrase do this, and when you're
Right.
in the box, like don't be afraid to do whatever it is to project the feeling you want the bars to happen. So I was
Right.
really impressed, in the sense of, like, aside from,
I
that's my man, that's like family to me. So to see him really immersed in what I was doing kind of bugged me out, because he was like dead ass serious about it.
Yes, he
And
is. I actually
yeah, and I was
experienced being
like,
in the studio. I never worked with him music wise, but I actually been in the
mhm,
studio and he networked with every room and tell him how it goes and he's wired all
yeah,
night. Like he's focused.
yeah.
I've never seen someone has so much energy
You just said
recording
it.
and
Yeah,
yes, he's
it
like up
it
if
was
he was up, I'm up, you up. Let's do this. Come on. I need 2 songs from you, 3 songs from you. That's how Diddy
yeah,
works. And
like
I
he
was
was,
young watching him. Yes, yeah.
yeah,
I don't like that. Do it again. Change that. None of like literally
yeah,
working
that
all the
too,
rooms. Yes,
that
it's
too,
incredible. And then you
and it
come
was
back the next morning and be like, y'all still up? Like he didn't let nobody
yeah, cause
sleep.
he stayed there. Like I think I left, and he stayed in the session with I think it was my man Davin Vanderpool Prestige. My man, shout out to Prestige. So him and Prestige stayed in the lab till like 5 something in the morning, fucking with the song, and I was like blown away, because I was like I said, it just bugged me out that to see him that in tune. And
Right,
even
right.
those times when I would do something that he dug, just how he would compliment me and be like, it wasn't like, like a gas you up compliment. It was more like, yo,
Right,
you on the
right.
right
Just to
path.
say it's dope. Right.
Right. But don't stray away from what you're doing right now. And I would be like, all right, check, Roger that, and then the
Right.
rest was
Right.
history.
So you never
And the
had
rest,
no like negative experience working with someone in the studio and be like, oh, this is not fucking it. Because I've had experiences like people have to record with like 10 million people in the studio. I hate that shit.
mhm,
Just to have that ego, just to have that like yeah. I'm like, dude, this is not a
mhm.
fucking concert. You know what I'm saying? We're recording,
Yeah,
and that loses creativity to me in my sense. Like creative with the producer and if you're dealing with
mhm.
another rap, I've learned that like, oh my god, some people I just cannot work with because they need people to stroke them just to lay down a fucking 2 verses or a bar.
I
You know what I'm
feel you.
saying? You ever had that
I feel
experience?
you. Not really, and I think the
No.
reason. No, I'm gonna tell you why, because I was so used to, like, that's how I came into it. So I was used to having 20 people around me, and you just gotta spit, and you gotta be better than the one that spit
Right,
before. So I was already kind of inadvertently seasoned to deal with a lot of chaos around me, and
right,
half
right.
half the fun before we was even in the studio was, everybody's high, everybody's drinking, everybody's listening to
But
the
that's a lot of
beats all
energy draining. I've noticed I was
night.
around that a lot as well, but I've learned to separate the push because The music
Right.
doesn't come out the same. It really doesn't. Like the energy is so fucking different.
It's different. It's different. And I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. Like that, don't get me wrong. I might have had scenarios where it might have been someone in the studio with us, and maybe their energy wasn't the best energy to
Yes.
have around. So, or I know with me, what would bother me after a while would be the whole like science project. That's what I call it, where it's like you're in the booth and you're rhyming, and you may have all these people that are walking into your session, and they kind of look at you like you like, like you're like an attraction at the zoo.
Right. Oh my
Like
God. Yes. Yes. Or everybody has a fucking opinion, right? Oh no, you should say it this way. Oh no, you should say it this way. I'm just like, oh hell no.
right.
I'm gonna go take a coffee break
Yeah,
real quick.
right. And
These
then you
motherfuckers
just be
gotta
like,
go.
yo, chill. Yeah, but even in those scenarios where that may affect my confidence or that might
Right.
affect my attention, I would
Right.
just go roll up and chill out and wait for them to
You're
leave.
so laid back, Pia. You're just so. What sign are you? My
A
ass would be
Virgo.
like shit. Oh, Virgo. Oh no, you're sarcastic. You're sneaky. You're
And
sneaky one over here.
why? That's what they say.
Yeah, Virgos, you're very analytic with everything.
I'm
Not good
incredibly
people.
analytical.
Yeah,
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 like
very
I
much
have
so.
to, I'm definitely about logistics, logic,
Right.
rationale, reason. So I
Yeah.
definitely think I probably overthink a lot. It's something I've been trying to work on the older I get, not
Me too. Me too.
overthinking. Yeah, but that's about it. But it's cool. I mean, I never when I did feel those when I was in those situations and the vibe wasn't right, my main concern would be not letting that lead to heads button,
Right.
because then
Yeah.
heads
Especially you're
button.
male, and it could get ugly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
you're
could it
right.
could get it could go left fast. So I would just rather just smoke and just tell myself like, yo, go walk
It's
in the
not worth
like
it.
the
Right.
A room or wherever I would have to walk to just be by myself and hone in on whatever it was I wanted to
And just
say.
take a
And by
time
that
out.
time, right, or I would just be like, that nigga's gonna be drunk in like 2 hours and then he'll leave. So just
Right.
chill out till he's drunk and goes home. And then that was that.
So, what do you think about hip hop now compared to our era? It's changed so
Mm.
dramatically. How do you feel the transitioning
Um,
of the new age, of the new rappers?
I think it's like anything else, Chloe. I think it got pros. I think it has cons.
Right, right.
What I do try to say to myself is I try to be as objective as possible. Like what I will say is, put yourself in these young boys' shoes, and then when
Mhm.
you do that, you start to tell yourself, like, yo, you was young too at one point coming into it. And the
Mm,
same, yeah, but we were,
uh, yeah,
and
but it's
I,
different.
now
It's different. I think
it
it's
is
different.
different.
It's
It is different.
different.
I'm not
I think
saying,
our generation, our men and the women, the women
mhm,
had more. We have more versatility. We had
yeah,
Lauryn Hill. We had Kim
oh yeah.
Fox. We had the Brat. We had
Yeah, we had
um,
an array of
Queen
people.
Latifah. But we had
Yeah,
our levels. So now it's just one wave. The females are just talking about ass shaking, pussy popping, da da da. There's
yeah.
no balance. And the men are becoming more feminine, wearing makeup dresses. It's becoming a
It's
totally different
it's
thing,
yeah,
you
like it's
know?
different. I'm and now
Yeah,
I'm not saying like I was taught a long time ago, everything ain't for everybody and everybody ain't for everything.
right.
So with that being said, the dress wearing and all of that, I mean, if that's what floats everyone's boat, who am I to tell you not to do it? It might not be
Well,
for
that's not
you.
the case. I don't think that's the case that they actually really wanted to put on makeup or a dress. I feel
Mhm.
like back in the day, you know, I think our men had when certain people in the industry told them to do things like you'd be like, nah, I'm not. You stood your ground. Let's
Oh
just put it
yeah, there
that
was
way.
a line
You
that,
stood your ground. No
yeah, there
matter
was
friendship or
definitely a
anything
line.
to manipulate
Nah,
you was like, no,
nah.
fuck you. You ain't bringing me
Pretty
down.
much.
It's not worth your fame. It's not worth the money. And
Yeah.
we come from the streets, so we know how to get money. So if that don't work, I'm gonna go get money over here.
Right. I'm gonna go do
These young
something else.
kids don't really know how to hustle like us. They feel like this is their only way out, or this is the only direction. Some people our age are doing the same thing as well. They
Hmm.
feel like
Hmm.
that's the only thing to do, and I just
Yeah,
feel like the change of
it's
hip hop is so dramatic.
it
It's
was,
so
but
different.
It was, but it's funny because shout out to OC. I had a good talk with my man OC. We was on the phone for like 6 hours the other night, but this was
Yeah.
one of the topics we covered. Yeah, we ain't speaking a long time, but he was telling, he's like, yo, our era, we were home to be as excellent the next time as we were the last time. And I
We
said,
spoke
yeah,
our truth though. We was
right,
us. Um,
right.
just
But
if I wanted to wear baggy pants because I wanted to, I felt it. If I wanted to be sexy, I'd be sexy. I gave them a little bit of everything.
you could do
Now
whatever
they feel like
you.
they're forced to be the same wearing, the same outfits, the same. It's like we're being conditioned in our industry because
Absolutely.
our industry is so powerful and people mimic, people want to follow. So they're changing what hip hop really is as a culture.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
you
but
see
I
that?
like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I liken it. What I told, I said, yo, I liken it to, it's like giving a kid allowance after a while and not giving them the but that comes with this speech. You feel me? And I think our
Right.
era, the era me and you were a part of, like we didn't just change things. We raised everything up to a level that our predecessors would have never imagined. Like we from
Right.
the era
Right.
where, you could actually make enough to go get a Bentley. You could actually make enough to
Right.
go
Right.
and what's the phrase? With great power comes a lot of responsibility. And I think what
Amen.
happens somewhere along the line is, it just turned into fast food, and it just turned
I
into
think
monkey
they
see,
were
monkey
afraid
do.
how much power our culture was
Yeah,
having, and they're taking it from us. If people don't see
absolutely.
that, they're
Yeah,
blinded.
I mean, and that's a fair argument to raise. It's a fair point to raise because I think that no one showed any of us in our era. No one gave us a guidebook. We were all
That's
kids. No one
right.
came
That's
to us and
right.
was like, "Yo, when you get to here, you need to do this."
Do
Like
this.
Puff
That's
had to
right. There
learn.
wasn't.
You understand what I'm saying? Like the
That's right.
millionaires from our era, they became millionaires in that era, and they had to learn on the fly how to deal with that.
That's
And
right.
no one showed us the ropes on that. So anything where it's too much too fast, there's gonna be an unintended consequence. And I think the unintended consequence is what you're describing now, like
I don't
the
think
the
it's like not
the
too fast. I think it's not earned. It's not blood, sweat, and tears. I
Mhm,
think it's that's why the music it's tasteless. It's there's no meaning behind it. When I listen to your music and
mhm.
Diddy's music, you feel it. You can actually still play it to this day, and
Yeah,
it's music
it's
that
not
will
soul
never.
food. Yeah,
Yes, yes, exactly,
there's
exactly.
nothing that resonates with you, and there's nothing that, I mean, on it. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple of them that I see, and it's kind of like, all right, young
Right,
Jedi
that
got
are
a little
good.
hope
Right, I
now,
agree.
right?
I agree.
Like I think Rowdy Rich is amazing. I think as an artist, I think that I wouldn't count
Benny the
Kendrick
Butcher.
Lamar
There's a
and
few of them that
Bennett.
are really dope.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a few of them that I think now for some strange reason, like within the last year or so, I kind of see everything starting to make a slow shift
Hmm.
as to where people are kind of saying to themselves, like, damn, I'm tired of eating McDonald's all day, figuratively
Right.
speaking.
Right.
So
Well, I
there's
hope
a
I
couple
hope
where
and pray
hope.
for that. Yeah.
It'll happen. Everything. Yo, there's nothing. My pops would always say, "There's nothing new under the sun," and whatever you saw once, you guaranteed to see twice. So
No, I agree
I
with that.
do.
And life is like a
Yeah,
cycle. You know what I'm
it
You're
is.
absolutely right.
It
Yeah,
is.
it
It
is.
is. So, all hope ain't lost. You feel me? I know I'm
No, no,
dropping
I
my shit.
agree. Oh,
So
you
I
are. So you got new music out
yeah.
coming. Do tell, do
Oh,
tell.
I'm having the time of my life recording. It's probably gonna be my last album, period. But I figured if it is my last, I'm gonna go out with as big of a bang as I
With
could
bangers.
possibly make. So I can't
Who you're
say
working with on the
every,
album? Oh, you can't say everything?
I can't say everything right because my managers is like this right now. My managers
Okay.
is like,
Okay, I
yo, you
got you.
better not.
So
What I
are
can
you
say,
dropping last year or next year that's coming out?
next year coming out. Like
Okay.
I've been having a great time recording with Rhythm D, with Mr. Lee, with DJ Toon. These are my brothers, and we've
That's
been
awesome.
making some incredible music. Um,
But so
Shout
what
out
made
to
you
Pimp
stop?
C.
Oh, shout
What
out to
made
Pimp
me
C.
stop? Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out
what
to
made you
Pimp C.
stop?
I think for me, Chloe, it was kind of like um, it was just too much, too fast, too soon. And I don't think that I was ever ready necessarily for all the things that come with being an artist. And I think I also
Meaning the
had a
people
lot of,
behind? What do you mean, like the people behind, or you couldn't handle the
yeah,
pressure?
like I
Which one?
mean, like the pressure, the politics,
The
it
politics.
just turned in right, and it turned into a point where it kind of was like, yo, this shit ain't fun anymore. Like it's not
Right.
like
Right.
when I did my first album, and it was fun to make the album,
Right.
and it was fun to create, and it was fun to go everywhere and perform it, and it just wasn't fun to me. And then once it started
Because
to
people
feel like it,
change, like in your crew, they changed from your first album creating it.
I
Those were
think
your
everybody
friends, right?
right,
Yeah.
right, and I think everybody changes a little bit, whether they would readily admit it or not. You know, you can't
Right.
say you don't change. If you went
Yeah, you
from
have to change to grow. You have to
you
change.
have to. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to. So it's like for anyone to be like, yo, I never changed. Nigga, knock it off, bro. You had nothing
Right.
yesterday and today you have the world in your hands and you stop. You know, so with me, it was just something in me that was kind of like, yo, why don't we just give all this shit back? And why don't we
Hmm.
just spend a little time getting to know ourselves? And
Right.
if it comes to a point where you feel like you love this thing again, then it'll be here for you. If not,
Right.
then
So the
you'll
people
be
made you
okay
not
with
love music anymore. The people that you were
not
surrounded with.
necessarily right. Not and it, not I wouldn't say the supporters. I don't call people fans. I don't believe in
Well,
that
no, I'm
word.
saying
The-
your so-called family that you was doing music with made you
Mhm.
not love music anymore, creating music.
Yeah, I had a lot on me. I had a lot on me
Right.
from every angle. You know, I had a lot on me
Right.
from the people that, you know, helped me make the music and put it out. And I had a lot on me from the people that, you know, were with me before the music, during the music. I had a lot on me from my relatives and my family. You know,
Right.
I
I
had a
know
lot
that.
on me
Yes.
from, yeah. So it's kind of like everybody was taking as much as they
Taken.
could
Yes.
until there was nothing left to take. And I was like, well,
Mm.
you know, before you end up taking what you don't need to take in any way, shape, or
Right.
form, why don't you just walk away? And I did.
Right.
And I
Because
think
that's
it
when they
was the
get you,
best
when you're
decision.
at your desperate measures, thinking that you would
Exactly.
do anything by any means necessary. And that's
Right.
amazing to even show your character that you're even in your desperate moments to take care of so many people in your surroundings that you decided, peace, I'm not doing this. This is not who I am. This is not me.
Yeah.
That's
No. And
amazing.
I think I appreciate you saying that, but I really believe it was like the best decision I've ever made in my life, you know, and my
Amen.
time off away from it. And it was cool because when you're in the amusement park, you can't really see from the
Yes, in the
vantage point.
beginning.
Y- Right, you're not
Right.
getting the whole
Because it's
scope
the
of it.
bright
So
lights.
right,
It's the nice
it's the
clothes. You got
lights
the jewelry, the new
and the
everything.
cotton
Yes.
candy and yo,
Yes, it
there's the
is.
Ferris wheel and yo, there's the roller
Yes.
coaster and you
Everybody's
right in
doing
front of
it.
all these.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, right,
So
right.
when I step back and you know when I'm like
Yes.
this looking
Really
in the
observing.
amusement right, so when I'm looking
Yeah.
in the amusement park from outside, I'm like, yeah, this shit's
What
kind
was
of
your
crazy,
wake?
bro. It's good.
I'll give you my wake up moment. Like, I was never into drugs. I was a lightweight drinker. So when I went to a lot of
Hmm.
these parties, first I was in awe with the the celebrities and the A-listers and stuff. And then when I really
Hmm.
sat and
Hmm.
looked at what was going around and
Hmm.
the drugs and just a bunch of stuff, I was like, this is not me. I sat back and
Hmm.
said, I never want to be like that. I looked at that person differently and saw what they're doing, and just so many things happened. And I said, oh, this is not my life. Like, this is not
Hmm.
happiness. A lot of these people are
Hmm.
famous, rich, and but they're really not happy. They're looking for that happiness. They're of that drug or that extra woman or that man, because women are doing it
Absolutely.
too, and they're so lost. And we glorify these celebrities that you can
Hmm.
see it in their eyes, they're not happy. You know what I'm saying? And I no longer admired them as a little girl. As I grew up and saw things, and I said, okay, I gotta take a step back. This is not the world I really want to associate
No,
with. So I started pulling myself out of it. What was your ah moment?
yeah.
Like you're like, holy shit, this is not fucking it.
Um, like I said, I wouldn't even call it the eye moment. I would call it more. It was my path. Like
Okay.
I remember I had went to TVT one day, and like the day that I left TVT, I hadn't even intended to leave. Like I didn't get up saying, "All right, today's the day I'm gonna make my exodus," whatever. I wasn't even thinking that, and I got to
Right.
the label, and so I'm sorry, my son and my wife,
It's okay.
it's a full house
It's
in
okay.
here.
It's
so
okay.
so something that happened at the label, and somebody had told me something that the label had an intent on doing, and I went into the president was Steve Gottlieb. Um, And I went into Steve Gottlieb's office, and one thing led to another, and then voices got louder, and then,
Mm,
blood starts rushing, and it was going to go left very, very quick.
right.
And unbeknownst to the world, I think maybe 2 months prior to that, I had a failed suicide attempt. So I came downstairs after arguing with Steve, and the vice president Vera, she was like in tears and she's crying and she's like begging me to come back upstairs, and she's like, "Honey, we'll work it out. Please don't leave." And I remember I just showed her my wrist and I was like, "Yo, if you could give me back what made me do
Mm,
this, then I'll come upstairs." And I was
yeah.
like, "Can you give that back?" And she was like, she put her head down and she was crying and she was like, "No, honey, I can't." And out of nowhere, I just heard something just tell me, like, "Yo, give all this shit back, jump in your car, and just ride into the sun." And that's what I
Right.
did. That's what I did.
That's smart. Oh wow, that
I don't,
was yeah.
so I don't
That just took
know.
me back. Like, yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen a lot of things, and I didn't know it was that severe. Yeah, you mentally, emotionally, they were draining you. They were basically
yeah,
vampires sucking you dry.
they was tearing my ass up emotionally and spiritually,
Jesus. Yeah.
and like I said, everybody was just pulling,
Yeah.
taking until it wasn't nothing left to take. And I think I got to the point where, had I not left at that moment, it's a pretty good chance that, I'd have been in the news for a terrible
Right.
reason,
Right.
and
Exactly.
so, like I said, to me, leaving that day and leaving everything behind, and it was the scariest decision I ever made in my motherfucking life, because I was like, all right, life is gonna change like in 24 hours. Like,
Right.
you're not gonna be
But
Richie
you wasn't really
Rich.
happy. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Money, people got to understand that money can financially make you content, but it doesn't
yeah,
make you happy, have peace of mind. So it doesn't make you healthy because you were sick inside emotionally.
nah.
I mean, when you're depressed, and because I know I've been there, you're
Mhm.
ill. Like it's hard to function, literally.
It's
And
incredibly
that's
hard, and not only that, but it's. I felt at that time that I was supposed, my first job, first and foremost, was to be everybody's superhero,
right. I
and
understand that.
it hurt kind of when I was like, all right, um, but I'm going through shit. So how the fuck am I supposed to get up and put a
Right.
cape on and go save
That's
Metropolis?
right. That's right. I mean, I
So
totally feel you
I.
because at age of 14, 15, I was taking care of my whole family. And I had to
Hmm.
put that cape on. My dad was in jail and out of jail. In New York, mom's home cook cleaning really don't work. She was
Hmm.
raised differently. So I had to
Hmm.
take care of families and some of her family. And I had that pressure as well. Like,
Hmm.
you have to
Hmm.
succeed. You have to pay these bills or this and that. So I understand that pressure. Like, you can't give up. You just had a baby. You still got to work. I had a little baby
Hmm.
going on tour, and I didn't give up. I mean, certain points I felt drained, cried to
Mm-hmm.
myself, and I had to keep my emotions inside because I didn't really have no one there to express it or had my back in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
we got to learn how to just
absolutely.
sit and be like, okay, I got to think of me. And it took me all the way to my mid 30s to not let people take advantage of me. It took me a long time.
Don't feel bad. You ain't
Yeah,
alone. You
it took
understand?
a
You ain't
long
alone.
time.
Like, I mean, I
When
went
I
through a
stopped, like
whole.
when I stopped, um,
Mhm.
and my son has autism, none of my family was there. I felt
Oh, you
abandoned. I
know,
felt
I know.
alone.
Yeah, Matthew has autism. My middle son is high on the autistic spectrum. He's not nonverbal, but people who don't have children with autism, like they don't get it. It's a lot.
They have
You
no
know, so
idea.
they have no idea. But what I will say is it took me quite some time, Chloe, to say to myself, like, yo, what's up? My man, my name's Mike. I'm your best friend. You didn't
Mhm.
even know that. You was so
Amen.
busy, you know what I mean? So you
Right.
was so busy running around
That's right.
being this thing that you created that you never understood your best friend is you first and foremost. So
That's right.
I'm just grateful that I went through whatever experiences I went through that ultimately led me to sit down and have a introspective with myself. And then
Right.
once I did that, Glow, it's just wow. You know what I mean? Like once you do
Yes.
something that puts you on a certain path, it's almost like something above you or around you is just throwing everything in front of you like
That's right.
breadcrumbs.
So
So
those
once I
people
start,
that got you to that level, that got you
mhm.
to your most low, did you forgive them for things that they've done?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. You know why? Because to walk around, pardon me, to walk around and have all of that in you, that
Right.
could never be a good thing because
Right.
either one or two things that happen. And there's actually a term for it. It's called stacking. This I know because I actually I've had a therapist now for like 4 years, but that's the second, no, the third best decision I've ever made in life. So what I never realized is I had a lot of issues from before I even was rhyming,
Mm,
that
okay.
I had never allowed myself to come to terms with. So, like my mom's passed when I was like 11 years old.
Wow.
And in that same year, my uncle, my aunt, and one of my best friends, they all died in that same year.
Jesus.
And yeah, my aunt died that Christmas Eve. My mom died 6 months after that. My uncle died. No, my best friend Jamal died before my mom. Then my mom passed away. Then my uncle Bill died. And my uncle
Jesus.
Bill was my guardian appointed by my mom in the event of. So,
Oh
I
my
had
God.
seen
So
a
where did you
lot.
go after that when they both died the same year?
I mean, my dad, I ended up
Okay.
with my dad, but my dad was, and it's different because, when you get older, you kind of overstand more. So I was like, my dad, he had lost my mom and he was going through his own battle with coming to
Right.
terms with that. And he
Right.
just wasn't initially in any shape to
Right. State
take
of
care.
mind to be a dad. Right.
Right. And but eventually things were so critical that he didn't have a choice. Not to say he
Got you.
wasn't a good dad and that he wasn't there for me. He was always in my life, but this rocked him. To lose the love
Right.
of your life,
Right.
it
You had a
would
lot of
bury
sorrow at a
any.
young age to even an
Right.
adult to handle all those deaths at once.
Yeah,
It's,
and what
yeah.
yeah. And what I did, I guess, as a survival mechanism was I would just suppress everything
I did it too.
and push it
I
down.
understand. Yes.
And to make it all make sense, when you harbor those things that are done to you, you're kind of doing this shit. And
Yeah.
what's going to happen is you're going to erupt on the wrong person.
Explode.
You're going
Yeah.
to explode, and
And
or
you make
you're
yourself
gonna,
toxic too. You make yourself sick,
yeah, yeah,
literally, with all the poison and
absolutely,
all the weight of other people's negativities or harm or guilt, everything
yeah.
combined can
It
make you
tears
can
you
kill
up.
yourself with that. Yeah, yeah.
You
Definitely.
could, and don't get me wrong, like we all human, so it's not as though I can't still sit here and be like, yeah, that was fucked up. I wouldn't have did that shit,
Right.
nigga. But
Right.
the difference is now I'll sit there and laugh about it and be like, yo, that was fucked up. I wouldn't have did it, but God bless this nigga's soul, man. I'm all right.
Right.
You feel
Right.
what I'm
I do the
saying? So
same thing. I totally
whoever,
understand you
and that's
1,000%.
that right. So and that's
It
for
goes for many
whoever.
people because there's a lot of fucked up people in this industry.
It's a
So
lot of it's a lot, and it's not even that. It's just it's a lot of fucked up people.
people,
You understand? Right. In general, like
right?
we could be
Family.
in
Hello.
right,
Yeah. Right.
or
Right.
not even in this industry. Like we could be in
I
any
mean,
other
doctors. I
industry.
mean, listen. Even autism. I mean, I know you dealt with a lot of fucked up therapists, doctors trying to medicate
Yeah,
your son up crazy. I can go on
yeah,
with. I call them
yeah,
drug pushers, like literally medical doctors and a lot
yeah,
of therapists are drug pushers. Some are great.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong. The great ones, I applaud you. Keep helping our children. But there's some that just want to just put them to the side, drug them up, and let them sit there like fucking zombies. Like literally,
absolutely,
I have gone through
absolutely.
schools and cried coming out because all the kids were like this, medicated up, just sitting in the chair, so the teachers won't have to deal with them. Like
Yeah, and I know
it's just
what
insane.
Matthew. Yeah, they maybe prescribed him. I mean, there's probably twice in life that he had certain medications, but we ended up not liking that it just zonked him out. And he
Yeah.
was way happier without it. And even some of
Yes.
the things that they initially had told my wife and I, where they were like, he'll never talk. And he runs around and he'll ask you for Dunkin' Donuts like no one's
No,
business.
it's too far.
He'll
Yeah.
daddy
Yeah.
that like he talks. He just
Yeah.
chooses when he wants to,
One wants to
and
talk.
I
Right. Right. Right.
exactly. And I say to myself, if he could tell me about Dunkin' Donuts and he can tell me about Blaze and the Monster Machines or all these little things that in his world are the most important, then guess what? If ever he wants to, he'll spit out an entire sentence. And
Yeah.
it's just my job to sit here and be patient. If you on ice, you ain't got no choice but to be cool. You feel me?
Right. 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 Right.
So
No,
that's
but you
how I
learn through your
look at it.
path. You learn through your path,
Oh
and you're like,
yeah,
no,
absolutely.
medicine's not for my child. Our children are not sick. Like their organs are fine. It's just neurology problem, meaning I believe it's the shots, but that's another story. But
Hmm.
especially with black boys,
Hmm.
my son was diagnosed at 2, and a lot of these medicines that they give our children affect their organs, affect their mind, affect their brain. So it makes it worse and
Hmm.
more complicated. All it is to put the kid just be still. Oh, they're too active. Give them this medicine. Oh, they're too this. Give them this medicine, which is not. Get a trampoline. Get a
And there's
bouncy
all
house.
yeah, and there's incentive for physicians to prescribe medication
And
because
make money.
pharmaceutical companies and doctors, doctors get bonuses per
That's right.
prescription.
And doctors
And it's
get bonuses
all
for fully vaccinated children as well. That's why they said
yeah, and
do a,
it's
you know, like,
it's all a cycle. It's
yeah,
all a
it's a
wheel. You
cycle.
understand what I'm
It
saying?
is.
So
It
at the end of
is.
it all, you just have to do what works for you best. And like I said, to run around to make it all 360 make sense. Nah, I don't run around and keep nothing with me, Chloe. I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
Very
And,
good.
and
Very good.
I'm getting a lot better at that. You know what I mean? So it's just something I
Yes, yes. It
work
takes
on every
time. It
day.
doesn't happen overnight. I mean,
Yeah,
me
it ain't
too.
gonna happen overnight, so
Because it
but I
wasn't
work on it.
minute little things they did. They actually totally affect your life in that particular, season in your life. And people think like,
Yeah.
forgiveness doesn't mean like, yo, we homies. No, forgiveness, I forgive myself for
No,
letting you affect
exactly.
me and doing things to me,
Right.
It's a
I forget
difference.
and right. And it's nothing more than saying, yo, I acknowledge that. I'm sorry that whatever it is in you led you that way. I'm sorry that I
Right.
left myself open for that. But be that
Amen.
as it may, here, take this. This is gone, bro. I don't even have room for this in my universe, bro. I just
But
don't.
I think a lot
You
of
feel
people
me?
that you would surround yourself with were peacemakers in the beginning because I was around your era. I was there, actually
Hmm.
there. Like I've
No, you
met.
were there. Yeah.
Yeah, I've met when
You were there.
when
Like
Ja
you
was
saw
about to
every
come out. Yes, and
fact.
when they weren't drinking, when they weren't doing drugs, like literally didn't take a shot, wasn't doing no drugs, and was peacemaker with DMX and Jay and Ja, putting everybody together, to a guy that was popping pills and doing this and doing drugs, and you're like, who are you? So the industry changes people. They could have and initially
Yeah.
have a good heart coming in because I saw the good heart, and then
Mhm.
literally you're like, who the fuck are you? And then I was like, okay, they got
I
you.
mean, I
You
don't
know what I'm
think,
saying?
yeah, like so I mean, like with Rule, shout out to Rule. That's my bro. I love him so
Same
much,
here.
man. Like he he actually was one of the people around me that I didn't see much of a change in. I just saw
I
more
agree.
of
I
a
agree. I
bigger and better.
agree.
Like me
Me
and
too.
Rule,
Me too.
from the day we met, we was always on the same wave, and even when
Yes.
he started to take off, and I kind of felt like, oh, okay, there's no backseat in this rocket ship, but that's cool. I was just happy that my man was getting ready to go sky high out of the universe. With
But that's
me, the
still, I
changes.
think I don't like that mentality of that we can't all be successful. It's got to be that one person in that group. Like, I just think that
Hmm.
mentality is just, it's wrong. We all can achieve, we can all be king and queens, we all can make money, especially in the
Hmm.
female game too. Now there's many, but before, fought against each other. It's just, it's
Hmm.
so tacky in our industry.
Hmm.
There's many country stars, there's many pop stars, there's many rock stars, but in hip hop we
Hmm.
fight against each other to be a what top of what. You know what I'm
Well, it's a
saying?
lot of, yeah, and it's all, at the end of the day, Chloe. I think it's more like, what do you want out of it? And if what you
Right.
want out of it is the power and the
Right.
reward, then you may be inclined to embrace some of these changes that are not what people have known about you. If
Right.
at the end of it all is yo, I just love doing this shit, and I just love how it
Right.
makes people feel, and I love how it
Right.
makes me feel because it makes
Right.
people happy. Then you getting paid in a different way. I think it was Bob Marley. He did like an interview, and the dude asked him, he's like, "Yo, are you a rich man?" And Bob Marley was
Mm.
like, "What do you mean by rich?" And he's
Being
like,
rich.
"Do you
Yes.
have?" He's like, "You have a lot of wealth." And he's like, "What do you mean rich and like possessions and wealth and all of that money?" He's like, "No, I'm not rich that way. I'm rich in another way."
That's
And
true.
the dude who was asking him, he kind of couldn't grasp what he meant,
Right.
you
Couldn't
know.
comprehend it. Right.
And honestly put, there's some people that come from that school. It's other people that come from the school of, nigga, fuck that, get the bag. You feel me?
Right.
And then
Right.
there's some people that are like, they're right in the middle of that. So at
Right.
the end of the day, it's all about what you wanted out of it. And I believe if you watch how people move, it'll tell
Mhm.
you exactly what they wanted
That's
from you.
true. Oh
You
my
feel me?
God. Yes. Give them enough time, they will show face.
Oh yeah, it'll show you
Always.
exactly what they
Always.
was. Yeah, you gonna know exactly what the roadmap was once you just, little things add up to big things. You feel me? So if you keep your
Yeah.
eye on that, and then
But I
if you
think as
do it that
people, as
way,
our generation, we need to be more use of each other because there's good uses and bad uses. Use each other
hmm
properly. Use each other benefits for us to grow as a whole, not just say,
hmm
"Oh, me, 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 me." And I'm
and
still
that would be,
battling that with other people as well.
that would be beautiful, and I agree with you completely.
You said
Like
that would be like it's not gonna happen.
it, right? It would be beautiful, but I mean, I'm not gonna say it's
You're like,
not, but especially in light of like I mean, take a look around you.
I
You
know,
got
I know.
anywhere you turn
But I
with
feel like
all.
you have a good heart. You're talented, and you're about we. I think I'm about that life too. So if people like us, there's more people like us.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we're not in shortage of commodity. That's what the world would like you to believe. That
right,
there's not people that are good hearted and genuine, and I don't say that as to make myself some sort of self righteous angel, because I'm not. You
right.
feel me?
Neither
I
am
could.
I. Right.
Right. I'm not. I have
I
my
mean, nobody
moments
is. We
where
all sin. Like,
no one is. Fact.
yeah,
So, but I say it as to say, like, like I'll be honest, like the last couple of years when I think of everything in a holistic sense, it definitely is enough to make you lose hope in humanity, but
Sometimes
there are still those,
I've had that.
yeah, but there's
People
still
that God
those
sends in your
moments
life to
that,
say, listen, I'm here for you. Look, this is my people.
right,
And he has
even
done
that,
that
or the,
throughout my life.
right, or even events, you feel me, or even there's still that, and what I have to remind myself of is the universe ain't never just one thing. It could never
That's
be
right.
just one thing.
That's
It's
right.
really designed so that the combat that each of these forces has with each other is actually what keeps everything moving. You understand what I'm
That's right.
saying? So like,
Yeah.
so if I look at it that way, then I don't keep so much of an expectation in everything around me. And I think I used to do that. You feel me? I used to put so much of an expectation on people and energy around me because I knew what mine was. But if I tell myself, bro, that's not your job. Your
Right. It
job
isn't.
is just to right. Your job is
It
just to
isn't.
check, maintain your energy, and your job is to be, you're your
You're
own
supposed to be
century
aware
at
of
your
other
own.
people's energy, obviously,
Yeah,
because you want to know if they're right for you, or you being set up, or you
yeah,
have to be aware of your surroundings, but in the same breath, you don't. As an artist, we always have to play a role. We always have to entertain, like literally,
yeah, yeah.
in a studio or just whatever. We have to learn
Hmm.
that we have to embrace
It's a
it and, and,
balance in
and be
that.
careful.
Yeah,
Yes, you have to be careful where
it's a
you spread your
balance in
energy
that.
now. Yes, because then you lose yourself, and then you fucking go crazy. Like, people don't understand the pressure of life, and then the industry of fame, of being this particular person, of
Hmm.
keeping it. So it's a lot of
Hmm.
everything, being a dad, being a mom.
Yeah,
So imagine
yeah.
all that, and then being
Right.
spotlighted and people dissing
Hell
you,
yeah. And
and
right.
nitpicking
And then
you,
you
and then
gotta
you're just like
right.
stab,
And you
stab,
still
stab,
gotta
stab, and then your friends stab, stab, stab. You know what I'm saying?
and then there's that too. Yeah, facts. But like I
And
said, Glowy, I'm just thankful. I would rather go through it than not go through it at all. Because at least at the end of the
right,
day, going through it made me a better man. It made me the
amen.
man that I am now.
I get that
You
vibe
feel
from
me?
you
So
totally. Yeah,
yeah, I feel great. I swear to God, I've never
you
in my
look great. You look
life,
great. Oh, I'm so happy. That's
thank you.
beautiful.
I've never been this
I love
happy in
your
my
the
life.
way you're at. I love your state of mind.
Mhm.
As a father, as an MC, like I can't wait for your album to come out. Like I'm ready. Like
March. It's
what
coming
kind of
out in
vibe? Like, are
March.
you on the New York with a little bit of everything? Are you flowing differently? Like, give me just a little bit.
Well, I'm gonna give you a present after
Okay.
we finish the interview. I thought about it
Okay.
last
Okay.
night. I
Okay.
was like, I should let Glowy get like a sample of what's going on.
Yes.
But
I would love
I'm a,
that.
I promise you, I got you. But I'm having an amazing time. Um, what I want to do is I want to be able to. The first thing I wanted to do was be able to sit back and say, "Yo, did you floor the natural? If you
Mm.
floored your first album, then your heart could be I destroyed the natural and I'm not even finished yet. So that
Yes.
makes me feel good. And then the second thing I wanted to do is I took off the spectacles that they give us all with,
Yes.
all right, you this sir, you this artist, so you should be
Certain
doing
way.
this.
Yes.
Nigga, fuck all of that.
That's
I
right.
threw all
You're
that
creative. You
move
could
up.
do anything.
You can
Right.
make a whole entire world, a whole universe the way that you want them. And I think
That's
with the
right.
project that I'm doing now, it embodies everything that makes me love music. Is I like trap music. I like
Me
West
too.
Coast.
Me
I
too.
like poignant music. I like thought provoking music. I like
Yeah, me too.
artists
Me too.
outside of just yesterday I was listening to Sting's greatest hits all day. So I
I
was
love that
trying to
too. That's
figure out a way
good.
where
So we're gonna get a little bit of everything. I love that.
you're gonna get
I love that.
everything. You're gonna get guest appearances that you probably would have never imagined me doing. Um, you're gonna see that
Are you
no matter,
independent or you on a major? Are
yeah, I
you
own
doing
my own
independently?
label.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
I'm just asking.
Nah.
I know
Shout
you
out to
learned. I know.
Yes, shout out to Symphonics Distribution, my man Octavius up there. So I have a joint venture
Beautiful.
with them. My company is QMB, Queens Made Bosses. So I
Oh,
finally
I love
got my
that.
company established like maybe a year and
Congratulations.
a half. Thank you, thank you.
Beautiful.
And so it's under my own flag. I don't have to
Beautiful.
worry about a whole bunch of things that other people, I've spent the last 12 years as an entrepreneur. I own a small business. So that kind of taught me.
So tell me,
Supply.
put your business out there. Is it clothes? What do you?
No. I started a locksmith and a security installation company 12
Oh,
years
that's
ago.
always needed. Hell, it's smart
Yeah.
man.
So I was an apprentice for about a year and a half. Um, and then I opened my own company over a decade ago. And
Good.
we've been going ever since. We've been like number one. We've won customer service like satisfaction 8 years in a row. We're one
God
of the
bless you.
top
That's
rated
amazing.
companies. Yeah, on Angie and Yelp and Google and all that stuff.
It's beautiful.
I have clients that live in the worst spots in the world. I have clients that are, on the board of Microsoft. So I've run
That's
the
beautiful.
gamut in terms of meeting people and personalities. And when I started, all I knew was installing locks, and now we have like a straight commercial division. So I do IT, I do
That's
cameras,
amazing.
I do access entry, full systems.
Cameras. I might need you. I need to camera my house.
I'll come take a look,
So
and I can't
legit,
help. It's
yes.
funny too, because like
What are you?
like
Just New York, or do you?
no, initially what I initially wanted to do earlier in the year, but then things had changed. Was I was actually getting ready to move to Miami and open up another division of the company there.
Uh-huh.
Um, but
Come.
then
Everybody's down here. Come.
eventually, I think that's what we'll
Yes.
end up doing. And it's not even to say that I won't open another wing this year coming out of state,
Right.
but I just want to make certain that because to run a business is like a child, and you put so
Yeah.
much
You gotta
energy
be.
into it, and
Yeah. You have to be
yeah, and
out
you
here
go
to make it grow first. Yeah.
exactly. So it and when I feel that I can readily leave from
Have
everything that
that
I worked
time
so
to
hard
do.
for here,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we'll make
I
that
got it.
transition. And no one
I
cares
understand.
about your business the way that you
More
care
than
about your
you.
business.
That's right.
No one, so,
No.
and it's funny because I learned so much running a small business operation that it's weird. Like I took things I learned from music and applied them to my small
Yes.
business. And now I'm finding I'm taking lessons that I learned running a small business and they're applicable to what I'm doing in terms of entertainment. And that's why I say everything that happened had to.
Yes,
You
I agree.
understand? It
Is
all
meant to
had
happen.
to.
Destiny. Yes.
Yes. But
Oh, I love your growth.
ain't
I
no
am so proud of
no one's
you.
ready for this album. Thank you, baby
No
girl.
one's ready. I'm ready. Shit, I am
No one's
totally
ready.
ready.
No
Are you
one's
doing
ready.
videos? I gotta do a cameo.
Yeah. I gotta go to the West
Any
Coast and
remixes? I know nobody does remixes anymore, but if you bring out
no,
back the
say
remixes, I need to jump
you
on.
have
Need a
not.
house 16.
And we like never did that. So yo, just cause you my
Yo,
ace
we
from back in the
never.
I got you. I
Seriously.
swear to God, like
Yes.
on everything. As a matter of
We.
fact, we're putting touches now on like the next visual. Actually, they're planning out like my next 4 moves because the whole project drops in March. So I definitely
Okay.
know we have to go to the West Coast to shoot, and I definitely know we're going back down to Miami and Atlanta to shoot, and I'm getting ready to shoot here in New York. So one way or another, I'm definitely keeping you in the loop. I'll let you know.
Yes,
I'd love
please
that.
do. I support
I
everything you
got you.
do, and whatever
I
you
got
drop,
you.
I'm pushing that shit. I got you. I'm just blessed to have you here. I'm blessed that
Nah, I'm
you're
glad
here
you had me.
individually, like with your beautiful family, and your
Thank
growth
you.
is amazing. And I just want to thank you and keep glowing. Thank you guys for listening to Just Glow podcast. with my special
Thank you for
guest,
having me.
Mike Geronimo. Yes, it's a
Yeah,
blessing. Just glow, keep glowing.
that's right. I love you, kid.
I love you too, Bob.